A lot of guys injured, gone.
On Derek Carr. I mean, the Saints are on fire.
Quin Johnson, could definitely see him becoming the receiver one for the Chargers.
Samaje Perine. I want to go after him. Go with Buccaneers from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, he's been more efficient than Rashad in the
Definitely more
first 2
efficient.
weeks. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Catching a Vibe. I'm your host, Drew, joined by my co-host, Mike. Week 2 just wrapped up. A lot of guys injured, gone, like your fantasy teams.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Oh, just a medical unit. We got to call for help. Everybody's gone down. It's rough. It's rough. I mean, I'm not crazy about all these waiver pickups. It's all, I don't have them numbered. It's more of a need on your team.
Right.
Is where I'm going to go and try to pick up some of these guys. So if you lost somebody, maybe some of these guys will help you out, especially with all these injuries. I mean, CMC's out for about who knows how long. 4 to 6, maybe longer.
Yeah.
Jefferson, he's probably going to be back.
Pacheco,
he's probably going to be out the longest out of all the guys if he does come back.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Ken Walker's banged up. He might come back this week. Cooper Kupp could be out for 4 to 6 weeks. He's walking around in a boot, so that's never a good sign when that happens.
Nope.
Tua, what's going to happen with Tua?
Oh,
I know
he's not going to retire.
I know some of you out there probably drafted him, and he's probably one of your starting quarterbacks, so you might be looking for a quarterback. Joe Mixon's a little banged up. Amon-Ra St. Brown got injured on the last play of the game, so who knows? There's so many injuries. Some of these guys could help you out. So we'll list some guys off. Hopefully it helps you out.
All right, let's get into it. We were just talking about quarterbacks. That's where I'm going to start today. I have 2 guys. First guy I'm going to talk about is Geno Smith. Geno is QB8 right now. He's rostered in 16% of leagues. He scored 17 both weeks. I mean, he has weapons. He has DK Metcalf, JSN, Lockett. Seahawks are 2-0. They've been playing well so far. And they're averaging 235 yards a game, which ranks 7th in the league. Then my other guy is Sam Darnold. Who's shocked by that, saying Sam Darnold, but he's QB9. He's rostered in 6% of leagues. I mean, he beat the 49ers. My goodness. Nobody expected that. He even threw a 97-yard touchdown to Jefferson. I just think this is the perfect offense for Darnold to be in because Kevin O'Connell is a really good coach. I mean, he always gets his guys playing good offensively. And Darnold's has a 72% completion percentage so far. So I think those guys are definitely worth a pickup.
They both looked pretty good. I agree with you. I'm going to go with another quarterback I'm high on, Derek Carr. I mean, the Saints are on fire. These last 2 weeks, he's put up over 20 fantasy points. So he's worthy of a start, if you ask me. Over 200 yards passing, 2.5 touchdowns a game. He's well worth you going out and getting this if you lost Tua or Love or even who else? Herbert is a little banged up too. So maybe you might want to add a second quarterback on your roster. He's definitely worthy of a pickup, if you ask me.
Yeah. No, that's a good one there. All right, my next one, since you talked about Herbert, I want to talk about one of his weapons, Quin Johnson. Feel like everybody was down on this guy. He can't catch a cold. But yeah, big day. He had 5 catches for 51 yards and 2 touchdowns versus Carolina. I mean, I think I could have caught a touchdown versus Carolina. He's rostered in 7% of leagues. I would definitely keep an eye on Johnston. I mean, he was last year's first-round pick, so they want this guy to do well, and they want to feed him. Could definitely see him becoming the receiver one for the Chargers because the Chargers receivers are a big question mark. Like, they don't have an alpha receiver now that Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are gone.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely pick Quin Johnson over you. Definitely. This team has invested a high draft pick in this guy. They want to do everything they can to get this guy out there to play and perform. He's got great size, good speed. So let's see what he put up this week. He had 6 targets, 5 receptions, 51 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's only owned in 7% of the league, so you can go out there and get him, especially with all these injuries. He's definitely worth a pickup.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next, I'm going to go the Chiefs running backs. Chiefs lost Pacheco, like we just mentioned. He could be out for the whole year, so Samaje Perine is a guy that I have my eyes out for. I mean, he's done in the past. In 2022, in mix and miss 3 games, he scored 30 points, 19, 21 in week 11 through 13. And Carson Steele is a guy that the Chiefs were raving about in OTA's training camp and preseason. Could he leapfrog Samaje? Possibly, but my gut is telling me Ryan's going to be the guy for till Pacheco comes back, or maybe they'll get a guy like they're talking about Kareem Hunt possibly coming back. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, I like Samaje Perine a lot better. He's been on NFL rosters and he's been producing on those teams that he's been on. He is well worth the pickup. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sold on Carson Steele. Yeah, they fell in love with him in the preseason. But I want to see a guy that's actually been out there. Perine is known for his receiving ability, and that's what the Kansas City is going to use him for, and I think he's going to get the majority of the snaps. I want to go after him as far as the draft, as far as picking up on the waivers. That's a guy I want.
Yeah.
So running back for me, I'm going to go with Bucky Irvin from Tampa Bay. This guy has looked amazing when he's got in. He's quick, fast speed. He's good at receiving the ball. And Rachaad White has kind of not done much with the opportunities. I mean, he gets a lot of opportunities. That's why he performs. I mean, he gets over 20 touches a game. So he does put up fantasy points for you. He's a little banged up. But I think if Bucky Irvin gets behind the wheel and starts driving his car, he's going to do pretty well. I really like him. So he would be one of those guys that I would try to get in on my roster, especially the backup Rachaad White if you have him.
Yeah, he's been more efficient than Rachaad in the first 2 weeks. I mean, week 1 he had 62 yards, and Sunday he only had 22. And Rashaad's averaging 1.8 yards a carry. So it might be a matter of time before the Bucs are like, "Hey, guys, you can't lead us anymore. We're going with Bucky."
I mean, Bucky's only owned in 29% rosters, so he's still available out there for most of the teams out there to pick him up. So
I like that. All right. Next receivers, I'm going with the Rams receiver room. Kupp is down. Puka's out too. Somebody's got to eat, and I think it's Demarcus Robinson. He had the highest snap count of the Rams receivers with 48 out of the 52 plays. He had 2 catches for 50 yards. And last year, he had some good games. He was averaging over 10 plus towards the back of the season. And I mean, the Rams got to throw it to somebody.
They're definitely going to have to throw the ball, that's for sure. I agree. I think out of the receivers in the Rams wide receiver unit, I want Demarcus Robinson. There are 2 other guys on there that you could look at too. Everybody forgets Tutu Atwell. He was on that team last year and got in a lot of playing time. You could look at him, and then they got Tyler Johnston is another one out there. He was with Tampa Bay last season. He come on over, and he's pretty good receiver. But I agree. I would invest more stock into Demarcus Robinson.
Yeah. All right. Now, my tight end, I'm going Mike Gesicki. He had a great game against the Chiefs. He had 7 catches for 91 yards. I think he could be a decent play with how bad the tight ends have looked. I mean, my goodness. Kelsey owes me because I drafted him early in fantasy. But Gesicki has always been solid when he's gotten opportunities. Like, you look at his time with the Dolphins, he would have good games. He is a receiver playing tight end. Like, he's got good speed. He ran a 4.5 at the combine, which I think is pretty crazy for a tight end. So, and week 1 he had a touchdown, but they called it back because of holding. So he's a good player, and I like him as a backup tight end.
So my tight end is going to be Hunter Henry from the New England Patriots. He's been looking pretty good. Who's their wide receiver one? Nobody knows. It's a secret that nobody knows about. So I want to go with him. Just this last week, he had 12 targets, 8 receptions for 109 yards. I mean, he's well worth going out and picking up, especially the way some of these performing. Travis Kelce, he's one. Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
Those two guys have you drafted early and have done nothing to help your teams out. I would take a look at Hunter Henry and stash him on my team if I had an open roster spot. He's worth a pickup.
Yeah, no doubt. You have anyone else you have your eye out for?
As far as a receiver, I like Jalen Talbot from Dallas Cowboys. They're going to throw the ball a ton this year, and every team out there is going to try to take CD out of the game plan. And this guy's quick and shifty. He's always on these underneath crossing routes. He's always open. I think he's worth pickup. He's only owned in 4% of your league, so you can definitely go out and get him. Just this last week, he had 9 targets, 6 receptions, 82 yards. I think he's definitely passed up Brandon Cooks on this team as far as who they want to get the ball to. So I like Talbot as far as the receiver goes. Running backs, I like Ty Chandler from Minnesota.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones is a little banged up, and what he's gone out and produced. He had 10 rushes for 82 yards just this past weekend. I think he's worthy of looking at, especially Aaron Jones. He could get hurt. I would definitely want him on my team. I'm scared to death Breece Hall. I want to run out and get Braylon Allen.
Yeah.
He looked pretty darn good with his opportunities that he got in there. He scored 2 touchdowns for you. So let's just say, and I don't want anything to happen because I got Hall on a couple of my leagues. So I want to make sure I have a good handcuff that I can put in there and produce for my team.
Yeah.
So he's one guy really looking at trying to grab up anywhere I can.
No doubt. Well, that wraps up the Week 3 waiver wire report. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down what you guys think. Love to hear from you guys. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe, please. Would appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Peace.